episode. We've got a special one for you today. We've got two separate interviews for you. First up, we'll talk to Maumee seniors Lucy Porter and Brynn Maier about the school pride and excitement the students bring to each game, and also what to expect during next week's homecoming festivities. We also had a conversation with Maumee Athletic Boosters President James Nino and Treasurer MIguel Flores. They've got some great events coming up here in October. Before we get to the interviews, let's take a look back at the highlights from last week in our Panthers Rewind. The Maumee boys soccer team stayed perfect, improving to 12-0 overall with a 2-1 win at Wauseon. Noah Preciado had a goal and an assist, and Blake Wagner had a goal. Freshman keeper Jackson Blue had 5 assists. To keep you updated, Blake is now 9th in the nation in points scored and 13th in goals. Don't look now, but the Maumee girls soccer team is on a roll. They've won 4 straight games, including 3 shutouts last week. They beat Bowser 3-0, Otsego 5-0, and Wauseon 2-0. Evelyn Boyette had a hat trick against Otsego, and Miriam Findling scored both goals at Wauseon. Maumee is now 6-5-2 overall and 3-1-1 in the NBC. The football team got back on the winning side of things, punishing Lake in a 49-7 win. The Panthers were up 35-0 at halftime. That's the third game this season they've started the second half with a running clock on their opponent. Cody Wolf rushed for 3 scores and more than 100 yards. Carson Grates had 184 receiving yards and a pair of touchdowns, and Ben Kubitz threw for 3 scores and 264 yards. Maumee is now 4-2 overall and 1-2 in the conference. The volleyball team went 1-2 last week, losing 3-0 to Springfield and 3-2 to Otsego, before posting a 3-2 win over Genoa. Brooke Kwiatkowski had a double-double against the Blue Devils, 24 assists and 14 digs with 5 aces. Autumn Draper had a season-best 24 kills against Otsego, and Brooke had 32 assists and 22 digs. Autumn and Sydney Janot had 9 kills each in the win over Genoa, and Brooke had 22 assists and 22 digs. Kirsten Green had 25 digs, and Julia Kuchar had 15. The Panthers are now 8-9 overall and 6-4 in the NBC. The boys golf team finished 8th at the Division I sectional tournament with a 354. Antonio Valadez had an 83. Zach Morris and Jeremy Anderson-Wanell each had 90s. Valadez finished 26th as an individual, but he lost a 4-man playoff for the 5th and final qualifying spot for the district tournament. The girls golf team finished 14th at the Division I sectional at Eagles Landing with a 483. Callie Yeager shot a 95 to lead the Panthers. She qualified for this week's district tournament at Stone Ridge. Congratulations! The girls tennis team posted a pair of wins last week, beating Fostoria and St. Ursula's JV team. The Panthers also lost to Northview 4-1. And that's a look back at the last week in Panthers athletics. The Mirror newspaper has been a supporter of IMA from the very beginning. If quality journalism is important to you, please consider becoming a subscriber. You can head to their website at themirrornewspaper.com to find more information on becoming a traditional print or digital subscriber. Our first guests are no strangers to Maumee sports fans, but we're talking to them about their involvement with the Panthers as students and fans today. The student section has been on fire at football games, and they're gearing up for a big homecoming week. Let's welcome Lucy Porter and Brynn Maier.
One of the things that I've loved seeing most throughout this football season so far through these 5 weeks is the student section. I feel like Maumee's always had a good student section, but I feel like you guys have kicked it up a notch this year. Can you talk a little bit about being vocal, being in the moment, kind of getting that school spirit, that school pride out there? How important is that for you guys?
I feel like it's really important because just being like on the railing and like being a senior, I've waited like 4 years for this, and being able to like lead the student section and be involved is just so big to me. Like, I love the student section. I look forward to Fridays every night. I might not be in the game, but like I know the football guys look forward to it for the game, but we look forward to it just being there, the before and after, just being in the student section and cheering on the squad.
Now, you're both athletes as well, so you may not be in that game on Friday night, but you know what it means to have, I mean, it's one thing to have your parents and your grandparents, aunts and uncles there, but when you look out into the crowd and you see your peers, your classmates in there, does that do something extra for you, and does that kind of play a motivation into you guys being as loud and being as crazy as you can on Friday nights for your classmates?
Yeah, I really feel like it does. Like, coming from like what you're saying, an athlete who has like looked out and seen their peers, like it's not only like you're trying to win this game for your team, like you're winning it for like your school, for your friends. Like, it's just, it makes it so much more like than what it really is. Just, it's not just like a football game. Like,
so in the student section, is there any sort of planning, preparation? Do you guys have a group Snapchat or something where you're like, hey, this is what we're going to do tonight? I know there's themes to the week, there's the neon, there's all that stuff, but is there any planning that goes on, or do you guys just go Friday night and whatever happens in the moment is what happens in the moment?
We do have a group chat on Snapchat.
See, yeah, so I knew it.
That is used sometimes, I feel like, a little too much. I do have to silence it, but there's constant communication, and it's not even just about football. Like, they'll be like, oh, soccer game tonight, like be there. Like, oh, it's like teacher appreciation, let's go here. Oh, what's the volleyball theme? Like, everyone just wants to support each other, and I think it's a senior group chat, so that's really important, because I think I feel like once you hit your senior year, everyone tries to become like friends. Yeah. So everyone wants to support each other in their last year of athletics. So that comes into preparing. People will be like last week with Wild Wild West, they were like, oh, where do we get little horses? Or we did have a problem at, I think it was Neon Out, where we bought stuff to decorate the student section, caution tape, and we had powder, but then we weren't allowed to use it. Right. So there definitely is preparation. People text all week about it. So.
Yeah. Lucy, I think you brought it up about, now you're finally a senior. Mm-hmm. And this is one thing about this senior class that I've seen is it just seems to be a different attitude. Mm-hmm. There seems to be a different vibe around this senior class because, not only is the spirit there and the sense of community there, but we have some incredible athletes. Mm-hmm. How exciting is it to finally be a senior? And I know the group chat is only seniors, but it should be only seniors. You guys are the leaders of this group. How exciting is it to finally be seniors and to take ownership of this and say, this is how we're doing things?
It's so exciting. I've literally waited. It's kind of sad because, we're graduating and we're all becoming friends, but I really, I've waited to be a senior and just, in the student section, it's just so much fun. Everyone is friends. We all have so much fun. We're all enjoying our time. We could be arguing, in class, but on Friday, we're all doing the cheers. We're all having fun, so.
So coming up here really soon is homecoming. I know there's a lot of events surrounding that. I think there's even a parade this year.
There is.
Yeah, so I know, Brynn, you're involved in a lot of the stuff. Lucy, you're involved in a lot of the stuff with homecoming. Can we talk about some of the things that are going to be happening, that are going to be going on around homecoming?
Yeah, so the week of homecoming, there is Spirit Week. I don't know if, I'm not supposed to say what the themes are.
Break the news on the podcast. Come on, Brynn.
So it's Monochrome Monday, which is just you wear all, the same color. Right. And then it's Twin Tuesday, Walt Disney Wednesday, which they want people to show up in Disney princess dresses for that. So I really hope people do.
Oh boy.
Throwback Thursday, and then it's like Fan Friday, but it's just Spirit Day for the football game.
Right.
But look out on that Student Council Instagram, because I have a great marketing strategy to post these themes. I think it's going to be really funny. But so upcoming that week, starting Wednesday, we have the Powder Puff game, I believe is that Wednesday. And we have guys that signed up to be cheerleaders, which is really exciting to watch that.
Yeah.
And then we obviously have the game. But before the game starts, that's when the homecoming parade is.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly the route, but I think it's really small, just like around the high school.
I think it starts at the intermediate school, and then it goes down. I think it goes down Craig, and then it ends up down Manic into the stadium area.
I know they end up on Manic.
Yeah.
But we have that. And then also clubs have like banners, because we don't want it just to be about homecoming. Like we want it to show off like kind of like our school.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like we're going to have clubs walk with their like banners, and like it's going to be like a banner contest, who is the best one.
That's cool.
Yeah. So there's that. Thursday, I don't know if there is anything Thursday. But
Well, Thursday night is the boys and girls soccer games.
Senior night, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that might be senior night, but I know one thing that the boosters are doing that night is they've got a drone that's going to go up, and it's going to drop a bunch of golf balls, and there's a target, and whoever gets closest to the target wins money. It's their drone drop. So there's that on Thursday night.
Yeah,
and then Friday night.
Friday day, we have the pep rally at school.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually really excited for that. We try to get like, we're trying to make it more like fun. Like you're not just watching people.
Right.
Like we're actually having like Donovan Mays is coming out and making a speech in Pierce. So we did tell them, we're like, you might like watch what you're saying, because my butt is on the line with this, because I said you guys should do it.
You never know what you're going to get with those two.
You never know, but it's going to be funny no matter what, which is like
absolutely,
which is what you want, especially going into that big game. Like you just want everyone to kind of be united as a school, which I feel like we've never really had a problem with, because we're so small. But then you have the football game, and then obviously the next day is homecoming,
the dance and everything,
and Pink Out, which is the best theme.
Yes, absolutely. I love the themes each day. The Disney Princess Day, I can already guarantee you Darcy is going to be all over Jack, and she's going to be going through Evelyn's closet trying to find a dress that's actually going to fit Jack somewhat so he can come to school on Wednesday in a dress. I already know that's going to be a conversation in the Schneider household, but I love it. How do you come up with the themes and the ideas for those days? Because I feel like sometimes they just get kind of stale and it's the same thing over and over again. The Walt Disney Wednesday is fantastic.
So our seniors and student council actually decided them, and it actually is kind of a lot of planning in them, because if they're bad themes, like no one's going to do it. And that's like what you don't want. But like it's always important to start off with that Wednesday with the easiest, and not Wednesday, Monday with the easiest theme. Because people forget about it. So it's like monochrome, like there's a good chance you can accidentally show up to school monochrome. I see it a lot, like not even grout outfits. I'm talking about all yellow outfits. So we try to make it so it's like you remember it. So that's really important. But we also just try to make them as like fun and like unique as possible. How
excited are you two for your sports season's coming up and seeing the student participation in that? Because I've already told Jack, because they've been coming to the volleyball games. The football boys have been getting wild during the volleyball games. And I told him, I said, you've got to come to girls basketball games. I said, you've got to get those guys and you've got to bring that energy to it. So for you two going into being athletes, Lucy specifically me, because you're the next one coming up in the winter season, how excited are you to see the student participation and the spirit, and how will that affect you? How will that help you on the court?
I cannot wait, especially because we have league titles. A league title on our mind this year. They were great last year. They brought so much energy, even if it was like Cody Wolf, Donnie Mays, Pierce Simpson. Like those three, like were always at the games. Didn't matter the drive. Like they were always there. But I think especially with the football team, with the volleyball games, I think there's going to be a lot more, which is exciting because in the past years we've had some crowds, but like there hasn't been a whole student section. But I think after the fall season, I think more people will definitely show up. and it's always fun to play with the crowd and with the student section, like cheering and stuff like that.
All right. Well, Lucy, Brynn, thank you very much for coming in on a Sunday morning bright and early. I know it's early for me, so I can only imagine it's really early for a high school senior. So thank you. We're extremely lucky to have the pride of the Panthers helping us make memories for our students. There aren't many communities or schools who have a group of talented photographers at almost all of our kids' events and games. You can follow them on Facebook by searching Pride of the Panthers.
Next up, we'll talk with a couple of guys who have taken on leadership roles with the Maumee Athletic Boosters this year. The Boosters have a couple of big events scheduled this month, with the Gold Card drone drop on October the 10th and the reverse raffle later this month. Here's our chat with James Nino and MIguel Flores.
Can you talk about just kind of maybe bringing a new breath, a new air into the boosters, and maybe why that's important to you guys, and you know where the boosters are going from here?
My son now is a 10th grader, and I started going to boosters meetings when he was in the 6th grade, playing like youth sports, Maumee Little League, knowing where he was going. So I thought I'd get involved then, like so that I could try to make an impact. So while he was here, things were getting better. In the first year of meetings that I went to, I mean, again, no disrespect to any of the people that were leading them,
right,
but there wasn't a whole lot of support, and it was just kind of the same people showed up at meetings. So my goal was to, hey, let's recruit some people into this that are involved in the community in other ways, like Little League and PTOs and things like that. I know that they've got a love for the kids in the community, and just to kind of roll that then into athletics,
right,
and kind of change the vibe a little bit about the booster meeting. So it's kind of like, hey, once a month we just get to hang out with our friends, and you know we're together and we're just shooting around ideas of different things that we can do to improve things around here.
You mentioned the friend aspect to it, and that's one thing that I've always been impressed with about this sophomore class, is just how close everybody is in it. You know, whether it's a son or a daughter, no matter the sport they're playing, you guys are always, and I'll be quite honest with you, as a parent of a junior and a graduated kid and somebody younger than this, it makes me a little jealous to see all you guys get together in the great relationship. So can we talk about that a little bit, about the great relationship that the parents have together, the kids have together, and how that, like James was saying, strengthens this booster?
This class, this sophomore class, is really, really close, very close, and it's something that, like, you know, amongst the kids and then the parents of the kids, you know, we're involved. We're trying to give back and give, you know, our time and our energy and using our expertise to, you know, to support, just bring everybody up. And it's not just this class and trying to support this class, but everyone down the line.
Yeah, I mean, I met MIguel the first time our kids were 6 years old playing t-ball together.
Yeah.
And the kids have been tight ever since this. I mean, this is truly, to me, it's a homegrown class.
Yeah.
The kids have been here forever. I've coached some of those kids in Little League baseball, MISA soccer, Maumee Express soccer, Maumee Youth Football. Now here at the high school, it's just a group that's stayed together, grown together, ton of alumni parents.
Yeah.
And I think that has made a huge difference as well. Parents like, oh, okay, they remember Maumee in the 90s when things were rolling in a different way, and they know that that's possible here, and kind of want to get it back to that. And it is just, I mean, I know that we're right next to a bigger city, but it's still a small town, and a great vibe around here.
Some of the ideas that I've heard in the last couple meetings, and I don't want to speak out of turn, so I'll let you guys talk about some of the interesting, maybe outside of the box ideas that are kind of springing up here. But I mean, really, that is what it is. You guys are really thinking outside the box and trying to break a mold and say, okay, we've done this for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's great. But what can we do now? Because this is 2024, and this is a whole new world that we're living in. So some of these ideas that you guys are bringing up, if you could maybe, if you're comfortable, you know, I don't know if, you know, there's any state secrets or anything that you're not allowed to divulge. But What are some of these new ideas that you guys are bringing up?
First and foremost, coming up, we do have what we are calling a drone drop, a drone drop raffle. Every year leading up to now, the athletes, the fall athletes, would go canvass the neighborhood and they would sell basically raffle tickets.
Gold card.
Gold card drive,
card.
Formerly known as the gold card drive. They sell those, and then at the last home game, or near the end of the home football season, they pull the winner, $500 or whatnot, and then maybe a second prize. We have a lot of other groups and other, the PTOs. We have a lot of different supporting boards or groups that are fundraising. So we're just trying to set ourselves apart and be a little bit different, a little bit, a little fun. So this one, it has the same raffle idea, but this time instead of the picking somebody in the press box, picking it and saying, "Here's your winner," we're going to take 500 foam golf balls up, and they are going to drop them on a target and on the 50-yard line, and we are going to give out based on the closeness of where the balls land, and so it's just a different spin on that. It's fun and it's
interactive.
Gets people excited. Yes, and it's our chance to push an event and push them to an athletic. And James can speak of an athletic event that we have a very good soccer program, and so we're partnering with the soccer program to get folks out to the games to come watch the boys and the girls play.
Right. We've got a soccer program, that won 2 league championships last year. We've got an all-state player, tons of all-league players on those 2 teams. So we just wanted to draw people out to an event like that. Football, obviously I'm on the football staff. My son plays football. We appreciate any love that's coming our way.
Right.
But there is a lot of that to go around right now. So we just would like to get some other eyes on maybe an event that they normally don't attend. With that, and then obviously the football team, we use the drone to film at home.
Sure.
So we just kind of thought it was a nice touch to kind of bring something like that. Hey, we've got the drone in the air. It's going to do this. It's not our football drone, by the way. I don't want Coach Kinney to panic. So Toledo Aerial is doing it. The event is sponsored by All Seasons. So if you're in need of any furnace or air conditioning repairs, make sure to reach out to them. But it was just just something to set us apart, like Miguel said.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and like Miguel said, as parents, and we have kids, in the middle school, in the elementary schools, in the intermediate school, all of them. It seems like every week another kid's bringing home, hey, we're collecting for this, or hey, we're selling this, or hey, we're doing this. So to your point, I think it's a great idea to do something different that's just not a candle sale or, a frozen bread sale or whatever. I think it's a really great idea to kind of set yourselves apart with that.
Right. And that event's happening October 10th.
Yep.
So if people looking for tickets, you can go on our Venmo and send money in and let them know that you're trying to get drone drop tickets or see any of our middle school or high school athletes.
The money that the boosters raise go to a variety of different projects, of different things. How important is the boosters financially and just support-wise to the athletic programs and the overall atmosphere of Maumee High School and Maumee Middle School?
We're there to supplement the athletic departments of both the middle school and the high school. And I think our job as the boosters is to get out and educate, the folks that we are asking either one to donate or to sell on our behalf, what the money is going for and why it is important. And that it does support the Maumee Middle School,
right?
Not just the high school. So those rising 6th graders are going to 7th grade. Those new, those 7th and 8th grade students, they get our support as well. Yeah. So we are. So each year we support both departments. We give a certain set of funds to them to replenish their jerseys, so their uniforms. So they're on a cycle. Cam does a really good job of, along with Jill, on tracking which sports need their uniforms replenished at that in the year. So they get them on a rotation. So every 2 years rotation that we will supplement that.
Right.
And then we even see if we start getting additional funding and things like that. Like I know the weight room.
Right.
Just recently, that was a really, really big undertaking, and we were able to have the funds to do that. Go to the board with Cam's support on donating a very substantial amount of money to renovate the weight room that benefits every student, not just the athletes. And then the former weight room and a lot of that equipment trickled down to the middle school. We're able to get a weight room there. So then now we're supporting the physical education classes, a weight room, and that for the students and the athletes of the middle school.
Yeah, I think at our last conversation that we had, I think in the last 4 years, Boosters has donated over $150,000 to Maumee middle and high school for different projects like the weight room. And if your kid has had a new jersey during their time here, it was because of the Maumee Athletic Boosters.
Yeah.
So those are our things, equipment, uniforms, the weight room, all those kinds of things. And then obviously all the signs that you're seeing around town of the athletes, the claw ones, the ones that are in the window, those are all through the Boosters.
Yeah.
The one that I don't think anybody knows about other than those of us that are funding for it, all the pins and patches that end up on varsity jackets.
Yeah.
Those are coming through us and cost way more than you would think. But I know Cam and LJ over at Game One do a good job on trying to find the right things for that. But those are sponsored by the Boosters as well.
What do you guys have? Any ideas on how to make Maumee's booster program different, more effective, better for Maumee?
I think expanding further out from a lot of the support right now is we'll circle back to that sophomore class.
Yeah.
In that sophomore class, the parents, there are a lot of us. So eventually those that don't have other kids are going to be graduating, and then we need to be able to hand this off or, continue to work with, building up the boosters as a group. So I think one is again, educating them about when we meet and what we do and the good things that we do. And I think two is trying as we expand, getting new ideas or getting new contacts or new, your expertise. If you're an expert in this, and you might work for, a concrete company or things like that. So it's just kind of getting bigger and getting that support. Number
one, we want to just have more members.
Yeah.
Okay? We'd love to have more members. We'd love to have every sport be represented. I think it's hard sometimes to know what a team needs.
Sure.
If their coach is always in season and we don't meet that coach here, and then there's no parents to say, hey, our team needs this. Like last year, no one from the track team was on it, so we didn't know that the kids needed a tent for track meets. That hey, they're getting rained on, or they're out there all day in the sun, and so it took a couple of parents then having, hey, my kid runs track, and I see all these cool tents that everybody else has, and we don't. Can we do something like that? Yeah. Well, sure. That's an additional ask that we went ahead and provided for the track and cross country team, high school and middle school.
Yeah.
So things like that. So growing those numbers. I think we've also talked about streamlining our fundraisers, getting to a core of like 4, and then with that 4, our big thing was we didn't want to become ask only.
Right.
Like we wanted people to get something out of our fundraisers. So, you have the Kazmaier Open. Well, you get a great day of golf. You get to play on a course that you can't play on unless you're there in an outing or you're a member. The mulch sale, obviously, we do a good business there, but the community gets something out of that.
Right.
As we do as well. The gold card, which now is the drone drop. There's some great prizes this year.
Yeah.
The cash prizes, the Yeti cooler package. I think that kind of speaks for itself in that. And then the new Maumee reverse raffle, formerly the Booster Bash. Lots of great prizes, baskets that will be awarded that night, silent auction items that are coming together that are like kind of one of a kind type things for people to come in and bid on. So it's not. We didn't want to be people that just said, hey, can you give us money?
Gimme.
And we're not going to give you anything in return other than thank you. So we want to have events that people can feel like, oh, I'm giving money, but I'm getting something in return.
Sure.
So I think that was big on our list of making sure that happened. And then, like, again, just the membership growth and trying to find some new people to come in here and hang out on Wednesdays, the first Wednesday of every month. And just give us a shot. You come hang out once, and if it's not for you, it's not for you, but I'm doubtful that will happen. So
I love coming to the meetings. You think of a boosters meeting, and we're all busy, but what I like about the boosters meetings is a couple things. Is you can have a voice and you will be heard. You won't be shot down. You won't be ridiculed or anything like that. Nobody will be judging you. And two, it's actually honestly kind of fun. We laugh, we joke. There's a definite sense of community with it as well, and I think that's important for people to know, is that you're not just going to come here and it's not just going to be a very vanilla, bland thing where we go down a list. And no, it's fun.
Yeah, it is interactive. I mean, we take lots
That's
of
a good way of putting it.
Lots of
Interactive.
comments and questions from the audience. So no, it is I think it's a good experience, and I mean, I enjoy myself on those days, and I just think that, and I'm going to shout out MIguel here. He's got 4 children under the age of 15. I don't know how you could be much busier than that. So if this guy makes time for it, I think most people could get here. And there's certain families that come, and it's both parents that make it, and sometimes it's just one because that's what can be there that night. And so, I mean, we appreciate anybody coming out to hear what we have to say and getting involved.
Before we end this, I do want to circle back to the reverse raffle. When, where, any other details we have on that? Fill us in on that stuff.
The reverse raffle is taking place this year, so it's October 26th, Saturday, October 26th, 6 p.m. at the Maumee Senior Center. It'll be catered. You have a ticket. You have 2 ticket options. One ticket option. You're gonna have to help me with the
get you
prices.
Food, beverages, and get you on the reverse raffle board. And the other one is just the food and beverage only. Like, so we had heard some people last year that said, hey, it gets to be expensive if my wife and I are both coming. With that, so we said, okay, hey, if it's not important for you to be on the reverse raffle board, then we can give a secondary price at. It's just you coming in. You get to your food and beverages, and then you can still bid on the items that are there. You can buy the raffle tickets for the different baskets and things like that. So there'll be 2 different price points that'll be available.
We try to keep it reasonably, like James said, the price wise. We want to try to keep it reasonable to get in the door, because what we want you to have fun, have a good time with everyone, but also bid on silent auction items. So if you're paying this kind of money to get into an event, that it makes it a little more difficult to want to scratch a number on a silent auction item, or buying raffle tickets, or getting involved in a big 6-wheel, or different side. There's going to be a bunch of different side games that they can opportunity of chance to win money and win prizes. And we just thought if we can lower the prices, you have a food and beverage ticket only. You're not in on the main reverse raffle, but you're in there. You're having a good time.
And there are opportunities to buy into the reverse raffle board once you get there. Some games of chance to get you back on that as well. Wanamaker Food Truck, they are going to be the ones catering the event. That's a Maumee family. So we're trying to do some things, again, try to help people that can help us. So that's a Maumee family that we reached out to see, and they were more than willing to come in and help out on that event as well. So looking forward to a good night that night.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time today. And I really hope everyone comes out to the Boosters meetings. Like they said, first Wednesday of every month, 7 p.m. in the high school learning commons. You will not regret coming out here. It is, trust me, it is actually a good time. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to Lucy and Brynn and James and MIguel for taking the time to chat with me. Every good community needs people who are willing to take leadership roles and do what's necessary to make it special. These 4 people are all great examples of selfless leaders doing what it takes to make and keep Maumee a special place to be. If you're taking the time to listen to this podcast, chances are the student athletes at Maumee Middle School and Maumee High School mean a little something to you. If that's the case, you should consider getting involved in the Maumee Athletic Boosters. They meet once every month at the Learning Commons at the high school. Meetings are only about an hour long. The next meeting is at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, November the 6th. Can't wait to see you there. Before we sign off this week, let's take a few minutes and look at some of the events and games coming up this week in Panthers athletics. Your boys and girls soccer teams are on the road at Lake on Wednesday, and NBC titles are on the line. The Panthers are tied with the Flyers atop the boys' standings at 5-0, and the girls' team is in a jumbled mess of 4 teams at the top of the conference standings. The boys' game kicks off at 5 and the girls at 7. On Thursday, the volleyball team is on the road at Eastwood in a tough NBC matchup. Varsity starts at 7 p.m. Maumee won the first meeting this season 3-2. Also on Thursday, the girls' tennis team is at Ottawa Hills in the sectional tournament. On Friday, the Panthers host Genoa in a huge NBC football showdown. The Comets come into the game 5-1 overall and 3-0 in the conference. Maumee will have to deal with the NBC's leading rusher in Luke Clement. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m., but don't forget to join us beforehand for our tailgate at the tracks, which starts at 5:30 and lasts until you're ready to head into Kazmaier Stadium. This weekend is highlighted by the boys soccer team. They host Fremont Ross at noon on Saturday at Kazmaier Stadium. The volleyball team will have its senior night on Tuesday as the Panthers host Fostoria. Varsity is set to schedule around 7 p.m. The boys and girls soccer teams are on the road on Tuesday, both at Evergreen. And that's a look at the week to come in Maumee Athletics. You've reached the end of another episode of Inside Maumee Athletics. Thanks again to Brynn Maier, Lucy Porter, James Nino, and MIguel Flores for taking the time to join the podcast. We're also lucky to have our supporters, the Maumee Athletic Boosters, the Mirror newspaper, and Pride of the Panthers photographers. If you'd like to contact the podcast, email us at insidemaumeeathletics@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Inside Maumee Athletics on Facebook and at Inside Maumee ATH on Twitter. Until next week, thanks for listening.